Hello and welcome to the Creator's Garden. I am called Harpy, and today will be a little bit of a random challenge type of stream. So, for those who don't know, I am the creator of a comic known as the Snapdragon Club series, and in this series, it takes place in the world of Sanctus, and there are a lot of characters that I have made for this world and for this comic series. And I happen to have a way of randomizing basically all the most prominent names and characters, whether it be because they have their own stories or they're just prominent vaguely lore-wise. So yeah, basically what I'll be doing is I'm going to be randomizing a character, and that's who we will end up will end up drawing. We'll probably go through like a couple of characters, but I expect this to be on the shorter end, but we'll see. So without further ado, let's go ahead and move on to the main camera. So as you can see, we have the page nice and open. I did have a little bit of a washi tape border just because I have some washi tape still that I haven't used up yet. Haven't had the chance to, or haven't thought of any particularly interesting uses for them lately, so I've just been, making them as borders for my sketchbook pages. So let's see what random character we can roll up. And hello, Kana. Welcome. Glad you can make it. You hope the first one is super cool? They're all super cool. Well, since you're here, would you like to be the one to randomize the character? You can just use the Sanctus Cara chat command. And we can see who you roll up, hopefully. Tomi Kinu, the Pirate Tailor. Okay. Well, she's an easy one. She's one of these characters that she's developed enough where she could potentially be a protagonist in her own story, but I haven't thought of a decent story to put her in yet, so she's kind of in a story limbo. But she does exist in the world of Sanctus, so there is that. So for the time being, she's just a side character. And I'm thinking that currently she resides in the continent of Ryok, which is a continent that I have not made stories about yet. Basically, all the ones that I've created so far have taken place on the continent of Osen, with the current comic being taking place on Osen, but also having flashbacks to another continent. You know what I think I'll do? Because Tomi is actually one of those characters that I do not have a sticker version of. So I think I'll attempt to do a little cheapy sticker version of Tomi. And also, for those watching the day that this stream goes up, happy St. Patrick's Day. I don't think I have a green outfit that I can show off, unfortunately. Otherwise I would. I have blue, I have pink. And I think that's about it. I don't know. Maybe I should think of making a green dress for myself. Who knows? Maybe that's something to put on the list. Just invert the pink, it's close enough. Or hide so you don't get pinched. Crabs. I mean, I don't think anyone's coming to pinch me. Especially not the Borbs. Oh goodness, okay, so I nearly forgot about this just because I was so very much trying to forget about it, but so earlier today, before starting stream, I noticed a lack of chirping in the garden, and I was very confused. I was getting a little worried because there shouldn't be any less Borbs for any particular reason. It's not like they can suddenly vanish. And I look out the window and it's like, no, there seems to be less Borbs. Where did they all go? So I went out, and I don't know how or when this happened, but they made a giant hole in the garden. Like they somehow dug out a giant hole, like imagine like a sort of like groundhog type hole in the ground, and I looked inside and there was just a whole bunch of them just stuck in there. They were all just stuck in there. They couldn't get out. They're all just all chirping in there. And I'm just like, how did you even do this? How did you even get in there? So I spent a huge chunk of my morning just carefully and slowly trying to pry each of them out so they could get out. Bun orbs. They think they're bunnies. You know, with how, squishy and fluffy they are, I'm sure some of them think they are rabbits in some degree. Pretend the enormous pencil fish I caught was a crab and you're super impressed. Oh, wow. So impressive. They got too cozy. I still don't know how they managed to stuff themselves to that degree, or how they made that hole in the first place. It baffles me, like, to this moment. Practicing for the upcoming holiday. No. I mean, I suppose I could. Like, some of the Borbs do have, like, feather ears similar to mine. So, yeah, maybe could give them, like, little fake bunny ears. Maybe. Anyways, I got distracted. Forget, did I change? I might have changed her bangs, actually. Sometimes I get characters like old designs and their current designs mixed up in my head. So I had to take a moment and figure out if I actually changed that or not, and I think I did change her bangs. Also, just a quick check. Hopefully the volume of the music and of my microphone is all well and good. And I believe Friday's stream is going to be my streaming anniversary, so I might be doing something special for that. So Hopefully you guys stay tuned for that. Go. Just a quick little ink job. Let's see. There's definitely a lot of pink and a lot of blue in her design. I think I gave her green eyes. Yes, Harpy is very powerful. Yes, but you know, power isn't everything. Oh, thank you for summoning Feather King. But yeah, I think we'll be done coloring Tommy really quickly, so if you'd like to generate another character, you can go ahead and do that now. Skin tone. Here we go. go. And there's Tommy. As cute as can be. Her hair is so cute. You love the little pigtails and side curls. Loon, Princess of the Moon. Now this is going to be very interesting because I have done some sketches of the princesses before. I don't think I've ever shown them on stream or in any videos in particular, so... Or if I have, they were a long time ago that I can't remember. So this is going to be a little bit of drafting, and then I will say already that her color palette is going to be mostly blue. It is essentially going to be blue, maybe a couple hints of purples in there, but mostly blue. And generally her whole thing is that she is supposed to be like calm and motherly. Like honestly, I think just in terms of like the way she looks a little bit in terms of color palette and just, I don't know, certain vibes, you may be able to see like hints of maybe, say, Blue Diamond from Steven Universe, but she's not nearly as like weepy. She's a lot more just calm and more sort of like oh, what ails you, child type of vibe. Not to mention, I recently did the thing, or not too recently, but the most recent addition I have made to the Fae is that the humanoid Fae tend to have the elven ears. So that means I'm going to have to add those elven ears to her as well. like her already. Yeah. I think all three of the princesses, like, all have, like, those who favor them for one reason or another. think I'm happy with this sketch. Figuring out outfits is somewhat difficult for me. Just because I don't consider myself very fashionably savvy to begin with, but I'm thinking that her dress I'm trying to sort of both obviously and subtly incorporate moon elements, and I'm thinking that the obvious one is, giant crescent on the front, but also her little tiara thing is also going to have a moon on it, which both this and her dress will change depending on the phases of the moon. So for instance, there's this shadowy bit I was kind of trying to allude to over here. So basically, the more the shadow covers over the moon, the more the shadow would cover over her dress, no matter where she is. Still a little iffy on how wavy to make her hair, but definitely the long ethereal type of hair. So yeah, I think that's generally a good start. Well, you got a cute seahorse, nice. She's so pretty and that's so cool. Thank you. Oh, don't. Welcome, welcome. Glad you can make it. I hope you're doing well. You working on any projects today? Hope you're not too late. No, no. You are right on time. So we're just doing random Snapdragon Cloud characters. We started off with the side character, Tomikinu, who it has not really appeared in the comics just yet. But she's sort of like a character in the wings in case there's something I want to do with her. And then we just rolled up Loon, the Princess of the Moon, in which she is one of the 3 Fae princesses who used to be in charge of, the Fae folk up until they vanished into exile. So no one knows where they are now. But there are a number of societies in Sanctus that do worship either one or all of the princesses as goddesses in a sense. So she's basically a lore character at the moment. Ooh, planning on writing episode 3 of your series. Awesome. Hope that goes well. not drawn this character, but also happy St. Patrick's Day. Admittedly, drawing clasped hands is not my strong suit. Hopefully someday I'll get that down pat, but we'll see. Hope you're well today and happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm doing pretty well. I am a little slightly annoyed and bewildered because I shared this story earlier about how usually, there are borbs in the garden. Usually there's a whole bunch of them just outside, frolicking in the flowers and all that. But there was significantly less chirping outside this morning, and I was confused because they shouldn't be disappearing. They should always be out there. If they're not here up there, they're usually in the house, and they weren't in the house, so I went outside and they somehow managed to dig out a giant hole in the ground and then got themselves all stuck in it. I still don't know how they did that. And I had to spend the morning meticulously and gently pulling each of them out from the hole. Because they're silly like that. I think this one requires the bigger eraser, so I can grab that. Hope they're all okay. Oh, they're fine. They're a bit dirty, but nothing a couple bird baths wouldn't fix. They were just like confused. Just as confused as I was, somehow. I don't know. I don't know how they managed to do that. It's like, yes, some of them have claws, and they could technically be able to dig, but they don't usually dig. They usually just make nests. Like either on the ground or in the trees. They don't usually dig. So I don't know what prompted them to try that out, or how long that's been going on. If they were able to make a hole that big, that they could just fit so many of them in there, and then all of them get stuck. Like, I love them. I do. I love them, but they're not always the brightest things in the garden. haven't really colored her before, so this is going to be a little bit of a trial run as to where I could potentially lay my colors. But I will have to look into that another time. Huge fish McCloud. Picturing them all going, "Mother help." That's essentially the look they gave me. That is essentially the look they gave me as soon as I found them. Just all of them staring blankly at me like, "Mother help." My grandma came over today and she got to pet at the cat and it was wholesome. Aw, that's so sweet. I believe you said your cat was a tuxedo cat? But yes, the Borb's got plenty of pets for those who are wondering. They have been sufficiently given affection. And you too can give them affection every time you summon them in chat. There's a number of blues that I should be refilling with ink later, but that is a problem for future Harpy. Alright. And I believe that's enough coloring for Loon. Again, this is more of a draft of potentially what she might look like. But I think that's going to be the closest approximation of her we're going to get for now. So who would like to spin the wheel of Sanctus characters now? Oh, and a quick stretch. You love her? She's very pretty. Oh, and thank you for the hydrate. Another princess indeed. Soul, the princess of the sun. I could probably squeeze her in there before I move on to another page. I think I might do that because she's in the same boat as Loon. Not much in terms of finalized design. But she's definitely a lot more like someone who is like always in summertime mode. Just always ready to go to the beach and have fun type of mood. That's her. That's Soul. I suppose you could say she's like only slightly adjacently similar to Joy from Inside Out. This is a little bit different from what I drew previously in my own time. But I'm thinking I'm liking this direction. Your OCs are very interesting and colorful, thank you. Soul would either live on the beach or visit every day, in my opinion. Yeah, she would. At least that's probably what she used to do. Because, for the record, in the current lore of Sanctus, the three princesses, Sol, Lune, and Paith, which are sun, moon, and pressure, or like gravity. They were like the three rulers of the Fae folk for like a long time, up until a point where they just were gone. They were like exiled, and nobody knows where they went. And because they're gone, that is why King Ribbon is in charge. But there are still some, like, settlements in Sanctus that are aware that the Fae at least did exist, or the princesses did exist. And so they've sort of become, like, deified in a sense. But yeah, for the time being, these are lore-only characters. They don't have proper stories about them. They might have stories in the future, but not for a long time. much like Loom's color palette, I know that Soul's is going to be mostly yellows and oranges. Fairly simple. And there she is. Not too bad, I don't think. Just kind of giving little sister vibes right next to Loon's motherly vibes. But yeah, that means I gotta turn the page. Close up of everybody. And we move on. So, who are we drawing next? You want to buy her a smoothie? You love her design and want to hug her? Yeah, she does look very huggable, doesn't she? Yeah, she is definitely the super friendly type. And we got Tomtress. Okay, well, she's definitely a character who I plan to give a story to. She used to be just a lore character, but I do plan on giving her a story after Actress's Tale. Yeah, it's Tomtress time! And I think after I do Tomtress, I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick break. Because we're just speeding through these characters. I'm almost afraid we'll start running out, but there should be a decent amount of characters in there, so. Actually, I don't think. Yeah, Tomtress also does not have a sticker design. Shade does, but not Tomtress. You just wanted to try the command. That's alright. If you would have gotten someone different, then that could have been next in queue. But yeah, since we already did Loon, ah well. But yeah, feel free to try out, like, you know, any of the chat commands whenever you feel like. That is what they are there for. Want me to reroll? If you feel like it, go right ahead. I think I attempted a Tomtress sticker design before, but it didn't turn out nearly as good as I wanted it to. decided to go the cute, shy route. Oh yeah, Forest Guardian is definitely a good one. And actually, we do have a sticker of her. Let me just quickly show her off. So this is Forest Guardian. Like Temptress, she's another fae. And basically, her whole deal is that she is the guardian of the enchanted forest. Basically, everyone in Osen knows that if you wander into the enchanted forest, like, you can't just go straight back out. Like, once you lose sight of the forest's edge, you're basically lost and at the whims of the forest itself. And that's because of Forest Guardian's magic. She's basically making sure that it is a labyrinth in there because the enchanted forest is where the Fae City is located, and she doesn't want anyone accidentally going in there. But you know, if she happens upon any like stray travelers who are lost, she'll be nice and like help lead them out of the forest. But yeah, Forest Guardian is a good one. I do like drawing her a lot. So we can definitely draw her when I come back from break. Here is a cute little Temptress. So Temptress's whole thing is that she's basically in charge of the magical library, which is also in the Enchanted Forest, but is a separate location from the Fey City. But she also is currently suffering from amnesia. So she doesn't know a whole lot about herself right now. And there she is, a cute little temptress, hiding behind her book. Your forest guardian character is based on a provost squirrel and is very protective of her home to the point where there are people who claim she is aggressive to all creatures who enter her home. Ooh. She is very friendly to people who care about her home, though. Just had to rant about her lore. No, it's cool, it's cool. She does sound like a really fun and cool character, though. Especially, like, based on a squirrel. That's super cute. But yeah, Forest Guardian. She's already had one comic appearance, and that is in The Hunter's Tale. She's more or less like a sort of plot device character than an actual driven character. So you know she's cool, but you only get like a little teeny glimpse of her. Anyways, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and take a break, and then when I come back, I will get started on Forest Guardian. And I'm gonna go ahead and actually leave her sticker here, just so I don't forget that she is next in queue. Also, just a quick sticker plug. Yay. I hope you'll take a chance to stop by on Friday, because Friday, I believe, is going to be my 1 year anniversary of streaming on YouTube. But yeah, that's enough of that. I will be putting the screen on break. The fishing minigame will still be up and all that, and you can still summon Borbs. So yeah, we'll be back, and enjoy yourselves. And I'm back. And hello, Kamada-kun. Welcome, welcome. Glad you can make it. Hope you're doing well. Just as a quick recap, so far we've done 4 characters for the stream. We've gotten Tomikinu, the pirate tailor. We've gotten Luna and Soul, 2 of the 3 fairy princesses. And then we also did a Tonetress. Now we do have a Forest Guardian next in queue, so we're going to be drawing her next. But if you like, feel free to roll up the next character. Scrumptious art, thank you. But yeah, if you'd like, you could go ahead and try out the Sanctus Cara chat command. You almost had it. It's okay, you got this, I believe in you. So much Feather King. And Akasi. Interesting. Stream Elements really loves Feather King today. Not that I'm complaining. Yeah. Like, usually if the streams are slower, like, Feather King is here to give me my hydrate when I otherwise would not get it. I think it'll be interesting to draw Forest Guardian like holding her hat instead of just wearing it. Because I don't draw her with her wings often, I think I'll do that too. I think her wings are more of a translucent green. Just took a break myself and just realized you came back from yours. Well, welcome back, Dote. Just attempting to draw Forest Guardian in a way that I don't usually tend to draw her, just because there aren't many stories that revolve around her. But she's still very important. Like, she's the reason that, like, some villains and antagonists, like, can't get their way currently. She doesn't speak at all, but she tries to say a lot through her actions. Okay. That's a good enough spot. Just had supper, you're getting ready to write? Awesome. Wish you luck with your writing. And stretch. Let's give her cute little plushies. But alright, I think Forest Guardian is basically all done. And we're gonna move on to Akasi. So Akasi is one of the hosts of the Snapdragon Club. He is a Naga. And he's like super buff, but also kind of awkward. He's just trying his best. He's like, he comes from a forest tribe and he moved into the big city, so he's feeling a little bit out of his element, but you know, he's trying. Also, I just remembered there are a couple details I wanted to add here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add that right here. There we go. That's what I wanted. But yeah, Akase is an absolute sweetheart. He's so handsome. Have to go do homework. Have a great stream. Bye, Kamada-kun. Thank you for stopping by. Before I do inking, I should do some sketching. That's where I put the pencil. I was wondering where this went. Now, admittedly, Akase is one of the characters that I still have trouble keeping consistent because he's got a snoot, you know? It's like characters with like an elongated like snout or even a beak are very difficult for me. Like, I love them, but they are so difficult for me to draw. I know, like, here I am with a beak, and I'm saying it's just difficult to draw, but I still do it because it's cool. Question now is, what sort of pose do I want to draw him in? Beaks are so hard, right? It's like snouts and beaks are really cool, but I just have so much trouble putting them into perspective because, you know, they don't really look the same, especially like straight on. And I feel like that's where I'm at right now. It's like I can do like straight on, and I can do maybe a 3/4 and a side profile. Anything else in between there, I am still having trouble. And I think that's just because I'm having trouble like visualizing like the planes of his face. Okay. OBS was having a little bit of trouble there for a second, but hopefully things are alright. And hey Nero, welcome, welcome. Glad you can make it. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. Doing pretty good. We've gotten 5 characters done. I'm thinking I'm only maybe do one more after Akasi, and then I'll call it. But just as a quick recap, here we have Tomi, the pirate tailor. Then we have 2 of the 3 princesses, Sol and Loon. And then we have a little shy temptress and a bashful forest guardian. And right now we are in the midst of drawing Akasi, which was taking me a little bit because Snake Snoot. But also trying to figure out stuff should be because he has a hood. this there. I don't know. I'll just be vaguely looking over at something, just being like, something the matter? I like drawing beak snouts, but that's because I mostly draw animal characters. That is fair. I'd say, like, a decent amount of Sanctus characters are animal characters, if only because there's all the anthrofolk essentially are like in Osen, which is where like basically all my comics take place so far. And the only ones that aren't like, you know, anthropomorphic animal or anthropomorphic insect or bug are like the Fae or humans or something else. Today wasn't the greatest, just doing things to occupy my mind. That's fair. Oh yeah. That's right, I haven't told you this story because you weren't here yet. But I've already told the story twice. But long story short, so this morning, you know, usually we hear the borbs chirping outside in the garden, right? So this morning it was like very oddly quiet. And I was wondering, like, okay, why is it so quiet? There should be borbs out there. There's no reason why there shouldn't be. And they weren't inside, so I went outside, and it turns out that somehow, I don't know when or how, they managed to create a giant hole in the ground, and a large majority of the borbs were stuck inside. So I had to spend a good chunk of my morning just slowly and carefully pulling them out of the hole because they were so like bunched up and stuck inside. So yeah, that was my morning. What birds are they, if you don't mind me asking? Also, so they're borbs, you know. So they're basically my own creation, based off of all of the various types of species of birds that there are out there. The variations come as you see on the screen. Like, some have wings and a fantail. Some are more ground-based in that they have more like bird, like feather ears and talons, and sometimes they even have like the same monkey type tail as I do. But yeah, basically, you mix and match those on a little like sphere, and then they have cute little beady eyes and a beak, and you got a borb. And they come in so many different variations. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and quickly show off the starting screen, just so you can get a good look. So yeah, as you can see, they come in all sorts of different varieties. There's even more than what's shown here, but you know, they were also on the BRB screen as well. We are almost done with the coloring accuracy. So I think if someone would like to give us our final character for the stream, that would be awesome. Well, you got Ruby Merchant. Ah, well, he's gonna be easy. You know what? He's gonna be so easy. I'll allow one more character. That's how easy Ruby Merchant is gonna be. But yeah, there's Akasi right there. I'll just show off Tomtress and Forest Guardian over here too. And just as a quick showcase, here is Ruby Merchant. Which is going to be really funny, considering he's on the same page as Forest Guardian. For reasons I do not wish to disclose just yet, Ruby Merchant might have a little bit of a crush on Forest Guardian. Maybe. Handsome little flower face boy. Yeah, which reminds me, do you still ship Ruby Merchant with Vakshi? I know you were like super adamant about that one for a bit. I mean, basically any ship is valid, but you know, within reason. But yeah, I was just curious. But let's see. Now that could be interesting. I could attempt to draw Ruby Merchant without his hood on. You know what? Sure, why not? I will attempt it. Since, like, realistically speaking, you're not really ever gonna see Ruby Merchant without his, like, hood up. So, I'm gonna attempt to do that. I've never drawn Ruby Merchant without his hood up. So it's going to be very interesting, maybe a little bit disturbing. So there's your slight warning there. I do, but only like 30% serious. Bakshi's face buried in flower face would be so cute. I mean, yeah. Hoodless ruby merchant and a stretch. Okay. this is potentially what he looks like with his hood down. Potentially. I basically run under the rule that if it's outside of the comics, it's only like tentatively canon. But once it's in the comics, it's canon. Spooky. Yeah. But yeah, as I said, we can do one last character. We have room for one more. So yeah, there's a ruby merchant. Aw, that's funny. That's funny. Okay. Harpy it is. For the final drawing of the stream. It is Harpy. It is me. And you know what? Since it is St. Patrick's Day, I think I will draw myself in a green dress. Going to be a very doodly version, though. That's a lucky roll. Yeah, so many of my favorites today. Ah. So you got the luck of the holiday then. There we go. I'll have a little 4-leaf clover on my head. Why not? And then I'll grab this one. No particular reason other than it's right here. And the line art is just about complete. Oops. Forgot the bangs. Yeah. these will be just about done. So I think that's gonna be a good place to call it. Thank you everyone who decided to join me, whether you were in chat or watching the VOD later on. I hope you had a lot of fun, or it was just relaxing. And I hope you enjoyed all the little bits of art we managed to do today. And if you're watching this later on, feel free to let me know which of these drawings was your favorite. For me, I feel like it's gonna be a toss-up between Forest Guardian and Soul. But there's me in a little St. Patrick's Day type outfit. Now I will not be pinched. But yeah, I'm thinking that's a pretty good place for it. And if you haven't already, leaving a like, a comment, sharing the streams and videos, or subscribing to the channel is always super appreciated. And if you're feeling super duper generous, we got a Ko-fi link up there. You can buy me a boba, you can become a visitor of Sanctus and get a borb attributed to your username, or you can get these stickers in the shop. Yep, all of these are in the shop. There's also some free borb emotes if you just want to download those. That'd be cool. But yeah. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining me. And I'll see you next time. Hope you have a great day and take care of yourself, you too. So happy you got to be here for the whole stream. Sun Princess or Harpy or Forest Garden favorite? And Ruby Merchant. Everyone's your favorite. Ah, you guys are too sweet. Alright, have a good day everyone. See you later. Bye.